Town Hall 18 is finally here, and with it comes some insane time reductions for Town Hall 17. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down those time reductions and talking about how it's going to affect your upgrade strategy. We're also going to be touching on a few additional aspects of the first sneak peek, such as the new Guardians, the economy changes, as well as the new Super Wizard Tower. Let's start with the Town Hall 16 time reductions first. Funny thing about this, there's actually no time reductions at all. There are actually time additions when it comes to building. This is because we're getting a brand new level for all the collectors as well as the spell factory. The lengths of these times can be summarized right here, and in total we're getting an additional 87 building days. Now, since we're on the topic, we might as well touch on those economy changes, since yes, you're going to be able to get more loot because of these, but to be honest, I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference, especially considering that we have battle mode now. So I would go as far as to say that upgrading collectors is not that useful in the game from now on. Obviously, the hit points of the collectors is useful for defenses at the highest levels of the game, but if you're still trying to just progress through your levels, I would recommend not doing them for right now. Town Hall 16 does fortunately get some time reductions for the lab, and all of those can be summarized right here. Overall, the reductions add up to 6 days, which isn't all that much. And guys, I hate to say it, but this is all the time reductions that we're going to get for Town Hall 16. Town Hall 17, however, dear God, does it get good time reductions. Let's start with the buildings. Virtually every building has gotten a reduction in Town Hall 17, and you guys can see in this chart right here, these are not small reductions, these are really big ones. If we add up the total amount of time reductions for Town Hall 17, we're going to get a whopping 461 days of time reduction. Now that sounds like a lot, but most of you are probably going to ask, hey BD, how much time does Town Hall 17 take to upgrade right now as it is? Prior to these time reductions, Town Hall 17 actually takes about 1,450 days. So we're about down to 990 days or so after these time reductions for Town Hall 17, which means that we got a 32% reduction in build time. Remember that this 990 days is divided by the amount of builders that you have, so don't worry, it's not actually 3 years of upgrade time or anything like that. Regardless, I think these reductions at Town Hall 17 are really helpful to get players to the highest level of the game. Now, the lab got a similar treatment, although one that wasn't as significant. As you guys can see in this chart right here, there's a ton of upgrades that also got reduced in the lab. A total of 76 days has been cut off from your lab max time, and prior to this, the lab took about 453 days to max out at Town Hall 17, and thus we got a total reduction of about 17% of the total lab time. So 32% of the total build time at Town Hall 17 and 17% of the total lab time. But I know the next question you guys are going to ask is, hey BD, how does this change our upgrade philosophy, our strategy, and what does this mean we should do with our magic items? Now, looking through this chart of the Town Hall 17 time reductions, you can see that a majority of the upgrades went from over 12 days where we would use magic items to below 12 days. There are some upgrades that are 12 days or longer at Town Hall 17, but a majority of the upgrades are no longer magic item upgrades. The same can be said about the lab upgrades and the lab time reductions, as you guys can see from this chart once again. Now, I took the liberty of doing this same analysis and just looking at the overall times for the Town Hall 18 updates, and I can't show you all of it because not all the sneak peeks are out, but what I will say is that for Town Hall 18, everything but the traps are basically a 12-day plus upgrade, you know, if you're not already at 15 or 16 days. And this principle holds true in the lab as well, as there are a ton of 12+ day upgrades. So I'm not going to change the magic item guidelines because a majority of your magic items will go into Town Hall 18, and already, even without like all of the upgrades out, or so we can assume all of the upgrades out, 667 building days and 301 research days is what we're looking at for Town Hall 18 already. So I would keep the current magic item guidelines of using it on 12 days or longer upgrades, simply because at Town Hall 18 we're getting so many really long upgrades. And for those of you that are wondering what you should upgrade first at Town Hall 18, well, don't worry, because I'm hoping to have a Town Hall 18 upgrade guide coming out to you guys on day 1, so you know exactly what to upgrade. Speaking of Town Hall 18 buildings, I do want to talk about the brand new defense, the merged Super Wizard Tower. Now, hands down, before we talk about the defensive stats and things like that, I think it's one of the best designs in the game in my opinion. I think it's so clean and a very unique design. It has one longer range than the normal Wizard Tower, and it also has 2 upgrade levels. It attacks 1 troop, but then that attack will chain onto the next 15 troops. This is a strong defense, and I think it's an interesting conversation on whether or not we should consider this a core defense moving forward. At this point, it is really hard to tell, but it has the potential of doing a ton of damage if you leave it unattended. Now, no discussion about the new sneak peek would be complete if we did not talk about the Guardians, which is the new Town Hall defense system. It's important that you know the Town Hall itself is not going to count as a defense, and thus defense targeting troops are not going to go after it. Both the Smasher and the Longshot, the 2 Guardians that we have right now, do damage to both ground and air, and they do a little bit of splash damage. When the Smasher is defeated, he drops a rage onto the battlefield, and he becomes enraged if the Town Hall is destroyed. The Longshot Guardian simply explodes when it's destroyed, and it deals damage that way. Now guys, the crazy thing about this is the stats that they actually come with, which are insane. At max level, the Longshot has 11,000 hit points and does 450 damage per second, and 1,000 damage when it's destroyed with an explosion radius of 3.5. The Smasher, on the other hand, has 16,000 hit points and does 700 damage per second. But on top of all of this, it also has a 60% damage increase due to its rage effect. These are absolute tanks on defense, and they ensure that you have to have a majority of your army pushing through the Town Hall. Gone are the days where you can just simply do an easy Yeti blimp, or have the Royal Champion target the Town Hall, because it's not a defense anymore. So you really need to think about how you're going to get this Town Hall. I think it's a good change, and in regards to upgrading the Guardians, I'll give you a better idea once I do the upgrade guide. Now, on top of all of this, we're going to be receiving a new troop for Town Hall 18, and one that'll be available at Town Hall 17, and that is the Meteor Golem. This troop is a lot stronger than the troop that we had a few weeks ago in the event. I think this troop has a pretty unique mechanic with its ability to split and throw itself, and the new stats are pretty good as well, as you guys can see, so it'll be interesting to see how it's used in the new Town Hall 18 meta. But if you guys want to learn more about Town Hall 18, the potential metas, and the different strategies you can use at it, I would highly recommend checking out this stream on the official Clash of Clans channel right here. And I'll have more details about this tomorrow, but trust me guys, this is going to be a dope event. You do not want to miss it at all. And with that, we've covered almost all of the topics for the very first sneak peek. But make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, because we do have some more things we want to talk about, as well as a new feature that I'll be able to do all the math for and that I'm really excited about. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I hope you enjoyed.